Welcome back, everybody. Automotive Inc. Today we're working on the 2007 Chevy Avalanche. We have a burnt out tail lamp, and what I do think is inside this tail lamp we're going to find that we have both bulbs burnt out. Now, for this year and this model, these two bulbs are your brake lamps and also your turn signals. So we're going to check all of the bulbs while we're in here. There is a backup lamp. Now you can swap these out. I'll make note of that with an LED. But we'll check. I should have some LEDs that we can try, but more than likely, every Chevy I ever tried to put them in, because of this combo, there's what's called hyper flash. Hyper flash is when it appears the bulb might be burnt out, it's constantly flashing faster than it normally would. We don't want that, and I don't have any that have resistors or diodes to tone that down, so we'll probably go back with the standard bulb. But this is going to be a walkthrough procedure. Now this will be the same on a Silverado Sierra. The mounting way, how to remove a taillight on those is going to be the same, and it should be very similar to also a Tahoe and or Suburban. Now before we get going too far, if you don't mind smashing the subscribe button at the end of the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and notification bell. As you guys know, Automotive Inc., we do everything automotive, so I love working on vehicles. I love test driving and reviewing them and stuff like that. But I had to get my hands on another Avalanche, and so we do everything here. I've been turning wrenches on cars since I was a little kid. My dad started me out in the garage all the time, so anytime I can save you money from having to go to the dealership, I am going to show you the tools, everything you need. I will usually link them on the Zon, so if you are a Zon shopper, Amazon, you can head over there and usually get a discount on bulbs versus having to go out to the store. And now you can get them almost daily, or by the end of the day, or next day delivery. So let's get started. Now guys and gals, everybody that watches my video, trust me, you can do this. So no matter what your skill level is, give this a whirl and save yourself some cash. The bulbs in this series, if you're going back with a standard bulb that came in it, you typically throw these away, even though they're good. You're talking maybe $6-7 versus having to go to the dealership and paying them an hour to do it. So Chevy likes to use Phillips head screwdrivers, and mostly Phillips head screws in the older models for their tail lamps. Now you might have a Torx if somebody swapped it out, and that's a whole different scenario. It looks kind of like a sun or a star, if you will. But in this scenario, this is going to be just your standard household Phillips head screw. As we can see right here, we have a screw here and one screw down there, and that's it. So we're going to remove those. Literally 2 screws, guys. And almost all of you are going to have a Phillips head and a flat blade screwdriver in your arsenal of tools, so don't sweat it. Now from here, Chevy, almost every manufacturer uses a locking tab that's going to be on this back edge here. Sometimes they'll pop right out, so you can try and put your fingernails behind here and pop it loose. If not, this is a great tool. This is a body panel removing tool. It's made out of plastic. Typically, as long as you're careful, it ain't gonna mar your paint. Don't use a screwdriver. So if those mounting tabs are still pretty stiff on one side, the bottom or the top or both, use this. You can put this in the crack, and like I said, most times this won't mar it. Meaning, if I tell somebody this doesn't mar it, they're gonna go out and purposely try and show me that they can do it. You still got to use some finesse and a little bit of care, but at the end of the day, I haven't had that ever happen with using these tools. I'll link these down below. They're super cheap on the Zon, so and you can use them for everything. Sometimes they double as a soap scum scraper in my bathtub, so not a bad deal. So we're going to go ahead and see if this pulls loose with our hands, and I can see that the bottom side is easy to come off, but this top side is not so much. So these packs of these come in all shapes and sizes. So what I like to do is put my body here, and I just work this in there like that, and then we're going to pop it out. So if you look, guys, there is the lower tab. So if you're looking for somewhere where to pry, you're about 3 inches up from the bottom of the tail lamp, and the one there. Now you can see that the rubber piece came out on this one that goes back in that hole. You don't have to take it off and reinstall that necessarily, but just keep that in mind. Now that I've removed this tail light, I can see that just over time, this wire, for some reason, there's a little bit of sharp metal and it's cut. This little, probably going to be just a running lamp that pops out on the side here. So we're going to go ahead and fix that with a soldering iron, and we're going to file this down. This video is mainly for changing out the bulbs. So when you do bring this out, keeping in mind if that shielding right there has gotten loose or fallen off over time, that edge can be rough for whatever reason and or sharp. So we're just going to file it down and get rid of that whole mess, because we don't want those wires having that issue again. But that'll be separate. So make sure you hold on to this. Again, you can kind of see they're going to fall in order here of how they go down. So we'll just take them loose and set the taillight aside. All right, everybody. So the bulb itself right here is a 3057K clear. Ditto on the bottom. Now, if you want to change some of these out to LEDs, I'll tell you that's a 7440. I'm going to put in a 3057 LED real quick, and we'll see if we have flicker. This bottom lamp here was actually a 194, and I will swap that out with a LED. So 194, we got the 3057 top and top, and then the 7440 for the backup light. So we don't have hyper flash with these ones. These ones actually work in the Chevy. So I will link these down below if you want to. You can see I swapped out the 194 there. And then I don't remember if I have any more 7440 LEDs. But yeah, you could swap those out with those. And like I said, I'll link them below. As long as your truck's just like this with this taillight assembly, you should be able to do that. Alright guys, so I take that back. Once I put one here, it didn't have hyper flash. So you do have to check on both before you just put them both in and say, oh, I don't have hyper flash. So we're going to leave that at that. But I did have the 7440 there. That was an LED white. That has nothing to do with hyper flash. So we want to install that because this does have a backup camera. Any more light I can get coming back is good. 194 there. Putting in new bulbs here. And if you get in there and these lights are still good, check your fuse panel. And if those are good, check and see if this wiring was frayed, because that could blow out the bulb and or short it out. Because once I soldered it all up, I have no issues. So now we're going to reinstall these. They're just going to be a twist into the back of that tail lamp there. Once you get them all back in there, guys, make sure your wiring is not tangled up. There's a little clip right there. If you can get your hand in there to clip the wiring in there, that'll keep away from the metal. And then you're just going to line the bottom tab back up, pop it in, and pop it in there. Now, once you get it snapped back in there, all you're going to do is put your Phillips head back in, line up the hole, push it back to where it lines up right there, and screw them back in. So we got those tightened back in, guys, and it looks really good. But like I said, anytime you're underneath the truck or pulling out a headlight or whatever, and you see something just doesn't look right, some raw metal, check your wiring, check everything around it and make sure, because again, I always say this and people bang on me, the second largest investment you're going to make is a vehicle to get your ass around. And frankly, you're in there already, check it out, make sure it's good. Now this is on the driver's side, but the procedure will be identical for the passenger side. I hope this helps all you guys. Make sure you can check out the links below for all the bulbs and whatnot on the Zon, and we'll catch you on the next one.